John Edwards for Griffins TV alongside head basketball coach Kevin Walsh. And Coach, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, John.
I appreciate you a few minutes of your time here on this New Year's Day to stop in after practice. And first time really we've had a chance to talk to you.
Yeah.
So, Steve, you and I have discussed this in the last couple of years, that the season isn't defined by wins and losses. And you know, the team this year is quite young. We'll talk a little bit about the team. You have a new addition to the coaching staff, and tell us first a little bit about Coach, your assistant coach that came in this year.
Coach Cleary?
Yeah, Coach Cleary.
Sure, yeah. So we do have a very young team this year. We don't have any seniors in our group, so we're lacking, I think, a little bit of depth right now. We're going about 7 deep, five juniors and 2 sophomores. 4 of those juniors played significant minutes for us last year, so we've got some experience. We added a new member of our coaching staff, Landon Cleary, who had been a player at Eureka High School, played for Coach Kennedy out at Eureka. He's looking to get an education and get into coaching, so he asked if he could come volunteer on our staff, and so he's been a great addition. He's good with the guys. He understands a lot of the things we're trying to do, especially defensively. Coach Kennedy's kind of runs our defense, so he's been a good asset. He and Rich Dorauer are kind of the young guys that maybe connect a little better than us old crabby guys like myself and Coach Kennedy. It's just the truth.
How with this team, because you talk about the youth in the team, and you only really had 4 players last year that saw varsity minutes. How has that changed? Because you and I have talked during the early part of the season about how this is a 2-year process with this team.
Well, I mean, I think there's a level of patience. I don't think there's acceptance of mistakes, but I think there's a patience that hey, everything we go through this year is a learning process, and we got a whole nother year with these guys, a year where they can learn what we're doing, gain a tremendous amount of experience, and then hopefully, you know, not that we're giving up this year, because we think by February we're going to be playing good basketball, but in addition to that, it'll launch us into next year, and these guys will have learned a ton, and you know, you can only tell guys so many things. They have to experience playing on the road in the MCC. They have to experience playing back to back to back when we go to Springfield or at the Coaches vs. Cancer tournament. That learning how to take care of their bodies, learning how to rest, all that ties in, and so you hope that this time next year those lessons have all been learned, and then you can really focus on fine-tuning the basketball.
You come off of playing the Coaches versus Cancer. You went 1-2 for the weekend, but you saw a little bit of different. Every game was a little bit different. You didn't see the same style offense from each of the 3 teams that you played throughout that course of the tournament.
Yeah, you know, we played Lafayette in round 1, and it was a typical 8-9 seed game, very close, very contested. We had a lead early. You know, right now our struggle is we get into typically a 3 to 4 minute period where I think really we get out of sorts offensively, and then when we don't score, we can't set our defense, and then we're scrambling a little bit more defensively than we liked. Still under 30 seconds, it was a 1-possession game, and we couldn't get the shot that we wanted to tie, and so we lose. We turn around and play a Rittner team that's far more up and down, want to pressure you all over the floor, want to attack the basket, and we played very well. It was a 9 in the morning game. We had a quick turnaround, had a 6:30 in the morning walk through that day, and I got here that morning at about 6:10, and all of our guys were in the parking lot ready to go. So that, you know, that's a small thing as a coach. You go, okay, you know, we're going to be okay. They bounced back. We played well and held them to 4 points in the first half, and I kind of credit that to our guys being awake and ready. Then we turned around and play a Memphis University high school team from Memphis. The number of people who have asked me, are they from Memphis? Well, yes, Memphis University High School. They are from Memphis, and they were a very good team. Maybe not a lot was known about them coming in, so maybe they were a little underseeded. They had good shooters. They could really stretch the floor. One of the things I thought a lot about them was they had some depth. They had a little more depth than we did. And so gradually, you know, it was a 6-point game at half, and then they came out and went back-to-back threes on us, and we missed 2 shots in the lane, and so then we were trying to play catch-up. did a nice job of battling back, but down the stretch we couldn't close the gap. Shooting 19 of 31 from the foul line is not a way to get a W, and that certainly hurt us. And it's kind of one of those things. Some nights it's free throw shooting. Another night it might be turnovers or lack of defensive awareness. And so those are all the things that with these guys we're just trying to help them learn and understand.
You talked about depth from some of the other teams. You talked about the lack of depth. When was the last time you've coached a team in which you didn't have seniors on it?
Never. This is the first time. I mean, I've always had, a couple seniors, and they may not have always been our top 5 guys, but we always have had seniors. And seniors just, they bring a little knowledge, they bring a little bit more urgency to a practice. We're blessed that Luke Sheeler and Ethan Lattimore have been varsity guys since they were freshmen, so they understand it, but there sometimes isn't that urgency because there's no last of this year, which is a great thing, but sometimes you need a guy to step up and be that leader, and I think seniors naturally feel that more. I think you see it in the hallways, in the cafeteria, in the classrooms. Seniors just have another level of maturity. So this is the first time we've gone through it. I can't say it's good or bad. It just is what the reality is, and we just keep working with those juniors.
Talk about some of the guys that have played for you this year. One of the biggest surprises for me was Bobby Braun. When he came to school this year, he was completely different student athlete, lost a bunch of weight over the summertime. You could tell that he's been working very hard at getting into the gym and working, and he's been a pleasant surprise for you this year.
Yeah, Bobby for us kind of going in was a key guy because last year we really lacked any inside presence and made it challenging for us. So Bobby, we talked in the springtime about getting his body ready to play, and he certainly responded to that challenge. And even more so, I think there's a maturity with him this year. He wants to be good. He's hungry. He has a desire, and he's provided a really nice inside presence. He had 20 against SLU High on the road and 10 rebounds, and did most of it on a bad ankle. He hurt his ankle in the second quarter, and what's kind of neat about that is I just looked at him at the half, and like there was no doubt he was going to play. And then beyond that, he basically didn't practice for a week as he was trying to get the swelling out, and he took care of what he needed to do with his rehab and icing it and stretching it, and so been really pleased with his whole outlook and his approach.
You see your guard play is Lattimore and Sheeler, and Ethan's done a nice job as far as controlling the offense for you, but where I think Ethan's improved this year is defensively.
Yeah, Ethan's, and we expect that from Ethan. We have pretty high expectations for him as a 3-year varsity guy, but the ball's in his hands all the time, so we're expecting him to make good decisions, and he's learning to be more aggressive and when to attack and when to create for other guys. Luke is just solid. He's kind of the backbone of our defense, and he's come out and he shot the ball well for us. Sometimes I'd like to see him maybe hunt his shot a little bit more. I'll tell you, the guy who I think has just been great compared to where he was a year ago is Mitch Wilson. Mitch just makes basketball plays, whether it's grabbing a rebound, a steal, taking a charge. Mitch has just really become a basketball player, which has really helped us. And Adam Cecile, when Adam came in as a freshman, we knew he could shoot it. As coaches, we talked to him about, you're going to have to learn to shoot it quicker. You're going to have to get that shot off quicker. And boy, he has just been a real pleasure for us. He's adjusted his shot. He's got a quicker release. He's averaging almost 3 3-pointers a game for us, and playing 15 to 20 minutes a game. So he's really done a good job for us as well.
You've done a nice job as far as rotating the players that you have, and really in doing so, how has that changed your coaching philosophy? Because maybe where you might have been aggressive more before, you can't be as aggressive now.
Yeah, I think defensively we do want to get up and attack and try to put the offensive team on their heels. We've kind of figured out that there's times we've got to pick our spots to do that and back off and play a little bit more quarter court. I think you try as coaches, and our staff is so good, Rich and Landon and Mike Paradosky and Craig. Like if it's late in the quarter, maybe there's 20 seconds left, hey, let's get Ethan out and let him sit through the quarter break and maybe sit another possession. So instead of sitting out for a minute, maybe he gets 2 actual minutes to kind of catch his breath. And, nice thing is our guys are pretty interchangeable, so Luke can go inside and give Gabe Ducey a rest. Gabe can give Bobby a rest. So there's enough flexibility there that I think we can buy those guys some time. Now when they get in foul trouble, sometimes that can become a bit precarious for us.
You talked about Mitch, and one of the things that I recall from the weekend with Mitch was you moved him, Ethan came out, you moved him to point guard, and it seemed like a seamless transition from him going from the 2 spot over to the 1 spot.
Yeah, and last year I don't think he was as comfortable doing that, but this year, we liked him off the ball because we liked the decisions he would make on the catch. But when we had to get Ethan out and to catch his breath, Mitch was really good. We ran a couple little actions to get downhill, and he kicked to Bobby for a layup and then passed it out to Adam for an open 3. And so 2 straight possessions. Yeah, he knew exactly what we wanted to do. He's smart. He's heady. He's a basketball guy. He makes good basketball plays.
Always seems like we've talked about it in the past where basketball players have to make that split second decision, and it seems like during the course of the year, it seems like they're a little bit more on the positive side than they are on the negative side.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what you want. I think right now offensively we have that going. I think if you watch tape, and when we watch tape, we still have a little bit of that hesitation on the defensive side. So we're a step slow getting to a rotation or dropping back, and so the difference between is giving up a layup or getting a deflection and a possible steal. And so, I think because with offense you kind of know where your teammates are going to be, that split-second decision you're much more confident in defensively because now you have to react to where the offense is moving. That's the next step for us. And, when we can do that, I think that's going to take a lot of these one-possession games and flip them in our favor, and that's what we're hoping. So that's what we watch film after every game. We try to teach these guys constantly in hopes that they'll become more instinctive, especially on the defensive end.
You realize that we don't have tape and film anymore.
Oh, I know.
Video.
What do you call it? Digital video. We watch our digital video. Sorry, yeah. I'm not with the real. Yeah, no. I'm not. I'm old, but I'm not that old.
We don't do anything in black and white anymore either. Friday night you get Chaminade on the road. You had a couple days off here this week after 3 games in a row, and you first time back in the gym today. You get Chaminade Friday night before things start to ramp up in January for you.
Yeah, really no rest for the wicked. I mean, Chaminade is the real deal. They're very good. We got a chance to watch them on Monday night in the last game of their tournament, their Christmas tournament over there, and they are extremely long and athletic and got good shooters, and that'll be a great challenge for us. They're very strong, but again, we like to think if we can do the things that we're teaching our guys to do, that we have a chance to be disruptive. So that'll be a good challenge, and then we jump into Lindbergh next Tuesday, and then we head to Springfield for a tournament on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So we're getting into it. It was good to get back into the gym today. We definitely needed to give the guys a couple days off to let their bodies recover, and they responded well. We had a good practice today, and our guys are upbeat and kind of focused on getting better.
You're here New Year's Day, and you got any New Year resolutions for your guys?
It's funny. We kind of went through that and asked them like what's one thing that they want to improve on, and so I think they all kind of have an idea of where they need to grow. For me, I think like as a coach, maybe as a parent, as a teacher, like if I could be more patient, like just helping them understand.
Right?
Correct. I'm not the most patient person. God gives me opportunities to be patient. I just don't take them up on it all the time. So, but I did read that only 12% of people keep their resolutions into February. So, are you one of the 12% or are you one of the 88%?
I'm lucky if I can get past like the first week.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people.
12% is kind of high.
Maybe.
I'm pleasantly pleased with the first couple weeks of the season, not from the wins and loss aspects, but watching this team over the first month or so. It's a significant difference from last year this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have an opportunity, and when that will reveal itself, I'm not sure. But I think these guys have an opportunity to be a pretty tough out when it gets down to it. They share it well. They play exceptionally hard. I think what's really cool, and I think most of the teams we've coached, they like each other. But these guys, especially the group of juniors, they're friends. Like, they're buddies on and off the court, and they love being around each other. And so when you have that, I think it gives you an opportunity to really have something special on the floor, because it's more than just a teammate. You know, there's a real relationship there, and that's a pretty cool thing. They like each other. They want to get better. Heck, two of the guys called and wanted to come up and shoot yesterday on New Year's Eve at about 4 o'clock, and you know, so we were able to work it out to get them up here to shoot for an hour. And when you have that happening, you know, I mean, you're bound to have good things happen at some point. We just got to stay positive and keep working.
I talked to you prior to going on. You had said you had a late night yourself, but it wasn't because you were celebrating the new year. What were you doing?
Right. So we had a little a New Year's Eve party with some friends of ours, and then I convinced my 7th grade son that it would be a fun tradition maybe to start coming up and breaking the new year by shooting. So we came up here last night about 12:15, and he got a couple hundred shots up before we called it a night and went to bed. It was good. It was fun. It's a good way to kind of start the new year by making some baskets.
He loves coming up here and shooting.
Yeah, he likes to come up and work, and he likes to shoot it and wants to be a player. So we'll see where it all ends up.
He's got a tremendous personality. I had a chance to work with Luke over the summer during broadcast camp, and
Yeah.
he was a tremendous personality.
Yeah, it's just if he can be coached by his dad, that's the $1 million question. If he can be coached by his dad, but he likes working at it, and we spend a lot of time up here. We do a lot of shooting, which it's a good father-son thing to do.
It's a good thing, but you're a family guy, and your kids are at every game.
Yeah.
Your wife's at every game.
Tries, yeah.
And you guys have a tremendous family bond, and it extends outside of basketball.
It does, yeah. I'm very fortunate. You know, my mom and dad still come to games when my dad feels up to it, and my wife comes when she's not working, and you know, she had to work a little bit over the holiday this year, so
Work?
Yeah, that made it a little bit harder. Trust me, she wasn't happy. My in-laws will come, and yeah, so family is most important, and we try to stress that to our guys too. You know, I mean, we want basketball to be important, but you got to take care of your family, you got to take care of your faith, you got to take care of your grades. You do all those things, then your opportunities come in basketball.
And that's why it's not just about the basketball; it's everything else outside.
Absolutely, and I think that's kind of what Vianney has taught me over the years, and what we try to pass on to the next group of guys.
Coach, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Friday night over at Chaminade High School, home next Tuesday night against Lindbergh.